following sermon is rated PG-13. Viewer discretion is advised. Parents, please make use of our children's programming now.
Well, welcome to week 3 of a series we've been in called Sawat D. Want to say what's up to our downtown campus in Amarillo, at our Freedom Campus, church online, watching on TV, or at one of our West Texas network churches. We're glad all of you are joining us today for the series as well. It's called Sawat D. It's this word here. Remember this Thai word? If you hadn't been here, Sawat D. You see that? I don't know what the letters mean. Okay. It's a Thai word. It means hello. Pretty easy. Sawat D. If you're a girl, Sawat D ka. If you're a guy, Sawat D krap. And we've been talking about, basically in this series, how we ended up, me and some of the staff, in Thailand in July of this year. I took a trip to Thailand with some of our staff, and it was life-changing for me. And so today I'm going to get to tell you all about it. And if you are here for the first time today, or you haven't been in this series at all, basically the first 2 weeks, I was sharing like how we ended up there. And then this week I'm getting to share kind of what we did when we got there. So it's kind of like coming in the middle of a movie. If you missed the first 2 weeks, you can get them on our website at experiencelifenow.com. But for those of you that haven't been here, let me do a quick review, and then we get into some cool stuff today. So about 12 years ago is when all this began. My parents, my sister, and I took a class called Perspectives. It was a class on what God's doing in the world. Different missionaries and people came in to talk each week at this class and tell us about what God was doing outside of the United States in the world. It was life-changing for us. As a result of the class, we had a Thai foreign exchange student come and live with our family. My sister was in high school. I was in college at the time. Her name was Kate. She was from Thailand and lived with us for a year, became a Christian. I told you about this in the last couple weeks. My parents had another Thai girl, Monsisha, come live with them for 6 years, and we just developed a heart for Thai people and wanted Thai people to know Jesus. Well, about a year ago, I was spending some time with the Lord, and I was on this website, joshuaproject.net, where you can find out about what God's doing in the world. And I was disturbed by a map that I saw, and you've seen it behind me most of this series, and let me just show you again in case you're like, what is that map and what are those colors for? So essentially, red, green, and yellow represent how many people in these areas are Christian. In red, the red areas are the unreached or the least reached areas of the world. So the people that live in red areas, we say that they live in or among an unreached people group. These are the areas where less than 2% of the population is Christian. Well, what disturbed me was I was looking at this map, and because I have a heart for Thailand, I looked to see what Thailand was, and I figured surely it's not less than 2%. So it's got to be green. I know it's not a lot of Christians there, but surely not less than 2%. And here's Thailand right here. Found out it was a red country. And it wasn't just a little less than 2% Christian. The two people groups I talked to you about a few weeks ago, 0.2% Christian. Well, that broke my heart because those are like family to me. I have family there. I call them my Thai sisters. And so I started saying, God, why are there so few Christians in Thailand? I don't get it. Like, why is 0.2% and the number's not growing very quickly? What's going on? And I told you last week, and one of the answers I felt like I got from him was when Jesus said, the workers are few. Harvest is great. A lot of people want to know Jesus in red areas all over the world, but there's just not many people willing to go and tell them. And so last weekend at all of our campuses, many of you stood up with me just to declare, here I am, send me. God, here we are as a church, send us. We don't want to be a workers or few church. We want to be a workers or many, whether we go to Thailand or stay here or mobilize or whatever we do, we want to be a part of seeing Thailand turn green. As a church, God use us. That's what we did the last 2 weekends. And then I said, so a first step for us kind of in this Thai vision and being a part of hopefully seeing something happen in Thailand is us taking a vision trip there. So me and some of our staff went to Thailand in July of this year. It was an amazing trip, and I want to tell you some about it today, show you some videos. So Just so you know, Thailand is not like a trip to Dallas, okay? In case you look on the map, I mean, it's kind of a long way away, and I don't like flying to Dallas, much less getting on a plane flight halfway around the world. We flew from Lubbock to Denver, that's not too bad. Denver to Tokyo. That's 12 hours, most of them over the Pacific Ocean. Okay, I asked the flight attendant, I was like, so have you ever like crash landed successfully into the Pacific and they come and get you? Have you ever experienced that? He's like, I wouldn't think about that. Okay, don't think about that. I've never done that. Well, if I thought that was gonna happen, I wouldn't have gotten on the flight today. So I was hoping it didn't happen. I was trying to sleep, okay? So that was 12 hours. And get to Tokyo, get off layover, another 7 to Bangkok. 30 hours, including layovers. It was a long trip, but it was worth it. So we got there, and first thing we did really on this trip is we wanted to see the Buddhist temples and just Thai culture and Thai religious culture more specifically. And one thing you may not know about Thailand, if you haven't been here, is it's primarily Buddhist. So here are the statistics, in case you're wondering, in Thailand. 84% of the population is Buddhist, 9% is Muslim. Ethnic religions, like tribal religions, 3%, non-religious 3%. The last percent is like everything else, Christianity, Hinduism, and some different things like that. So it's majority Buddhist. Now, in case you've been coming and you hear me talk about Buddhism, you're like, what in the world is that? Just a brief overview. So Buddhists follow the teachings of a guy named Siddhartha Gautama that lived about 2,500 years ago. He was also called the Buddha, meaning the awakened one. And basically his teachings were about one thing, and it was relieving suffering. He taught about how to relieve suffering, and it had to do with your karma. And so your karma, how good you were, determined what would happen to you later in your current life and maybe where you would be in your next life. So if you were suffering a lot, it's because you had bad karma, you want good karma, so you suffer less. The goal is nirvana, not the band. Nirvana, like they're trying to escape the cycle of suffering and pain and reincarnation and achieve a state of non-existence. That's Buddhism. So when they go to these temples, Buddhists go to these temples and there's these golden statues of Buddha, what they would tell you is that they're going there to kneel or worship in this temple because they're wanting to show gratitude for the teachings of Buddha, because they would say, you know, they believe these teachings and he's helping them maybe to relieve suffering in their life. And so when I asked kind of some of my Thai friends that are Buddhists what it meant to them, that's generally speaking what they say, but I asked specifically to them, what benefit have you seen in going to these temples and bowing down to these statues? They would say, it's about good luck. I was walking with a Thai friend when we were in Thailand, and he said, yeah, I would go here and do this and bow to these statues because it would give me good luck. And if I got good luck, I'd come back and they'd burn incense or they would offer flowers to these golden statues about good luck. So it's better to see this than just hear me talk about it. So I want to show you a video. It shows you a little bit about Thai culture and more specifically about Thai Buddhist culture. Take a look. So first time you see all this, it's really quite shocking. And it reminded me of the Old Testament when it would talk about the peoples of the world like erecting statues and bowing down to them, and then even Israel did at times. And then God would say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you betraying me? Because they would bow down like gold. They'd build a golden calf and bow down to it. Just reminds you of the Old Testament. So this was overwhelming seeing this. Maybe you're a little overwhelmed watching it. But one morning after seeing some of these temples, I read a psalm in the Old Testament. And I just thought it was so powerful. And it was really my prayer the rest of the trip for Thailand and for the Thai people. And it talks about what they're doing and why they should not do it. I want to read it to you. Psalm 96, verse 1 and following. Sing a new song to the Lord. Let the whole earth sing to the Lord. Sing to the Lord, praise his name. Each day proclaim the good news that he saves. Publish his glorious deeds among the nations. Tell everyone about the amazing things he does. Great is the Lord. He is most worthy of praise. He is to be feared above all gods. The gods of other nations are mere idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty surround him. Strength and beauty fill his sanctuary. O nations of the world, recognize the Lord. Recognize that the Lord is glorious and strong. Give to the Lord the glory he deserves. Bring your offering and come into his courts. Worship the Lord in all his holy splendor. Let all the earth tremble before him. Tell all the nations, the Lord reigns. The world stands firm and cannot be shaken. He will judge all peoples fairly. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let the sea and everything in it shout his praise. Let the fields and their crops burst out with joy. Let the trees of the forest rustle with praise before the Lord, for he is coming. He's coming to judge the earth. He will judge the world with justice and the nations with his truth. I remember reading that saying, yeah, God, that's my prayer for the Thai people, that they would recognize the gods of their nation are just idols. But you made the heavens. You created the heavens and the earth. God, help them to recognize you and give you the glory that you deserve, because you are the real, the one, the only living and true God. You see, missionaries have been in Thailand for about 200 years, and one of the obstacles they've run into in talking to Thai people about Jesus is this, that Thai people think, many of them, to be Thai is to be Buddhist. It's wrapped up in their national identity. So they see becoming non-Buddhist or Christian or anything else as betraying their country. And so missionaries or Christians have had the job of saying, hey, you can separate those two. You can still be fully Thai, you can participate in Thai culture and so on, and also be a Christian. To be a Thai, you don't have to be a Buddhist. That's one obstacle. Another obstacle is just the family structure. There is a great respect for elders there. Even once you've moved out of your home, I mean, you still do whatever your parents tell you. You don't ever disrespect your parents. That would be bad karma. And so they don't want to convert to another religion, even if they're compelled to, because they're afraid of what their parents might think. And so that's a big deal as well. So one of the Thai pastors told us that one of the ways in which he's seen Thai people be receptive is when Christians just share how God has changed their life. He said, because Buddhism is a no-life change religion. Nobody's talking about their life being changed. It's just you go to a temple and you do these rituals and you don't even understand what you're saying. And Lucy, a girl on our staff, had the opportunity to share with one of the Thai girls we were with about the relationship she has with God. And she was fascinated by that because the Thai girl said she just prays when she goes to the temple, not anywhere else. And she's not sure if Buddha totally answers her prayers or anything. And she didn't really know what she's saying. But she was wanting to know more of Lucy's story because she was so surprised that Lucy said she would talk to her God and he would answer. So all of this was shocking. It just broke our hearts because we're going, oh my goodness, more people from green areas have got to go and share with them, hey, there's a God who made the heavens that wants a relationship with you, and the gods of your nation that you worship, they're just idols. They're just things you've made with your hands. Well, we were really excited a couple days later to be able to go to church in Thailand. There's not many of them, obviously, and this is one of the larger ones. It was a church of about 300 that we had heard about that people told us we should go and check out. And I was so excited because I've never seen that many Thai people get together and worship before. We've seen a couple Thai people we've known commit their life to Christ, but not a majority. So I knew it was going to really be emotional for me hearing all of these people that I care so much about worship Jesus all together. And so we went to this church. It was awesome. I want to show you just a minute or so of their worship time. And I think you might find it similar to a church that you attend. Take a look. So they have the lights and the excitement. I told Brandon, one of our worship leaders, the only thing we're missing at E-Life is the dancers. So he's on that. All right, we're going to figure that out. All right, no, I'm not. It's not going to be me. Okay, so sure. So it was awesome. I cried through half of it just because I'm like, there's Thai people that worship Jesus. There's hundreds of them, even though there's not very many as a percentage of the population. There's people saying, Jesus, you are Lord. I got to meet the pastor and hang out with him as Pastor Tanan. He's 38. And he spoke that day. We didn't understand anything. We were thankful in the back behind us. There was an interpreter that we were able to put headphones in our ears, and he translated the message. I mean, he's speaking Thai a million miles an hour, and he translates the message in our ears so we can participate. Still didn't totally get it, but sort of got it. And so I asked him later that week when we got to meet with him, I just said, how can our church serve your church? Recognize there's not a lot of Christians around here. What can we do? And he gave me a few things. He said, you can do these things. First, he said, you can come teach in my church. We'd love to have some people in your church come and teach our people and train our leaders. He said, we love help with systems and organization. He said, Chris, you got to understand, Thai people, we're very relational, okay? He said, but we've heard Westerners, they like plan and stuff. He said, we don't know how to plan. We don't know how to organize things and plan. Like we lead somebody to Christ, we have no idea what to do with them next. We just hang out. That's all we know how to do, okay? So we've heard Westerners know how to plan things. I'm like, dude, we got that down, okay? Yes, we can help you with that. We'll send some people like our whole church could help, okay? And so that's number 2. And then number 3, he said, you can teach English. He said, a lot of Thai people want to learn English from an American. He said, because here's what you don't realize as you walk along the streets in Thailand. He said, when they see you, when they know that you're an American, because when they say Westerner, that could be European, but when they know that you're an American, he said they immediately associate you with movie stars. When they think of Americans, they think of Hollywood. That's all they know because they watch American movies. So you're a movie star. So here's what he said. Y'all can come and teach English. He said, because Americans are bait for Thai people. So you can bait them, all right? Come hear me. I'll help you with your English. Then our people from our church will come and meet them, hopefully lead them to Jesus and bring them in the church. I'm like, dude, we can be bait. Eli, if we got bait down, all right, we can do that, all right? So he said, these are some of the things that you can do. And we said, we will do whatever you need us to do. But as a church, we want to bless you guys and be a part of what you're doing and serve you in any way we can. And it was awesome just getting to hang out with him. So I look forward to going back and hopefully one day getting to show you a video maybe here of me teaching in that church. It's awesome. Well, that night we were planning to have dinner with our Thai friends, Monsisha and her family who had lived with my parents, Kate, my Thai sister who had lived with us for a year. We're going to have dinner with all their families. And we thought, okay, this is going to be difficult because most of them don't speak English and clearly we don't speak Thai besides Sawadee crab. That's all I got. Okay, so we don't know anything else. And so this could be awkward. So Monsisha had told me, though, that her mom loves karaoke. And so I was like, okay, all right. For the sake of the gospel team, I talked to the team. I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to Monsisha. We're going to see if maybe we can all do karaoke together. That way it kind of breaks down some of the walls, all right, and they can laugh at us, and it'll be a lot, and then we can clap for them, you know, you're great and everything. I said, because it's, you know, it's just what they love to do. So she talked to her mom. Her mom was like, yeah, I want to do karaoke. So there's all these places you can go to. This is like country club we went to that has a karaoke machine, a karaoke DJ. And I mean, they're into this, okay? And so we said, hey, Americans versus Thai tonight, karaoke, let's do this, all right? And so I told our team, I don't care if you can't sing a note, you're going to sing, all right? We're going to sing, and we're going to do this. We got some video of this. Would any of y'all like to see a video of our team trying to sing? Okay. So you're fixing to see some Thai and some Americans, the good, the bad, the ugly, the uglier, and the terribly ugly. It's really bad. So here it is. Here's the video.
me to the moon. Among the stars. My car, my little solo through job. Doing a thing I wanna do. On my shoes and no shoes. Step on my blue suede shoes.
So we tried, okay, we tried. You're reading it go across this little screen, you know, trying to figure out what line comes next. And it was funny because Monsicha's mom, you saw her singing that video, she doesn't really know English, but her and all her friends do karaoke in English. And so I asked Monsicha, I said, how does your mom even know what she's singing about? She said, she doesn't. She doesn't have any idea. So her mom sometimes will call her because she got her PhD here at Tech. Will call her and say, hey, I got this new English song. Can you tell me what it means? I don't even know what I'm saying. But they love English karaoke. So as a result, we were all laughing at each other, and several of us got the opportunity to share the gospel with some of Monsicha's family and Kate's family that night. It was really a great experience. Last thing I want to tell you about, and there's many more things I could tell you, but I only got time for one more. This next thing that happened was probably the most impactful thing on the trip to most of the people on our trip. If you don't already know, Thailand is a hotbed for human trafficking, sex slavery, also work-related slavery. Thailand's known for sex tourism. People from all over the world go to Thailand to buy girls, often young girls. In the U.S. State Department's TIP report, Trafficking in Persons report, they put this out each year. They rank countries in the world on a scale of 1 to 3, tier 1 being the best. They're trying to contain human trafficking, and they're doing somewhat of a good job at it. That would be like the U.S. Tier 2 is not as good. Tier 3 is really bad. Thailand has been tier 2, and this year they got downgraded to tier 3, same tier as Iran and North Korea when it comes to modern-day slavery. So a lot of girls being abused, kidnapped, raped, drugged, sold 10, 20 times a day. A lot of guys, men from other countries being kidnapped, put out on fishing boats, and they're basically slaves. So we knew this in Thailand, and so we wanted to connect with somebody that was a part of doing something about just this injustice in Thailand. And so somebody said, you got to get with Benita. She's helping these young girls. And so this is Benita. We met up with Benita. Benita is a retired school teacher from California. She lives off her pension. And she could have just, I guess, retired by the beach, hung out, sat there, done whatever. But she just decided she wanted to change the world during her retirement. So she and her husband pack up and they move to Thailand. And she begins a ministry that's aiming to rescue girls out of the prostitution industry. She's not working as much, a little bit, but not as much with trafficking because that's organized crime, it's underground, it's harder for her to get access to. She's working with the girls that are a step away. These are girls that are prostitutes that have mainly been sent from remote parts of Thailand by their father to Bangkok to prostitute themselves because the family's starving to death. And so she started this shelter for them. Well, she had us come to the shelter. She was telling us about the prostitution culture in Thailand. There's hundreds of thousands of prostitutes. But she said on the few streets that she works on, that night she said there'll be 10,000 girls selling themselves. And she said it's popular, again, sex tourism in Thailand. It's a significant part of their GDP. But then she shared with us, as she's talking about the prostitution culture, she shared with us something that just made us all want to vomit. This is what she said. Americans buy more Thai flesh than any other country. Americans buy and exploit these little Thai girls more than people in any other country. Our people, my people, your people, are going over to Thailand and promoting this industry, keeping it in business, and buying young girls, some of which are trafficked, some of which are prostituting themselves because they want money for their families. They think that's the only way to get it. We are contributing. I'm sure people in our towns, I'm sure maybe even some people that have come to this church, have gone to some place like Thailand to buy a little girl. Made us sick. Here's a picture of make you sick. This is kind of what you see when you're in that area. You'll see a Western man, and you'll see a young Thai girl that he's with, and basically he gets to go in and buy her for the night, kind of like pay a rent. You rent her, and you take her back with you, and then you just return her the next day. And so you see this at coffee shops and all over around the area in which Benita is ministering. It's just totally sick. Well, Benita wanted to do something about it, and so she bought this house, and she started going into these bars at night. And you have to buy one of the girls a drink to have her come over and talk to you. And so she would go and talk to them. She'd buy them a drink, go talk to them and say, hey, I've got a shelter down the street. I can help you out of this. I know you're doing this because you need money to send back home because your family's starving to death. I'll give you the money. I'll provide an education for you, place to live, food to eat, clothes to wear. I'll provide it for you. You can come now. You can leave now. I'll take care of you. Not all the girls respond, but some of them do. And when we were visiting with her, she had 17, I believe, somewhere between 12 and 17, living in the house with her at that time. And her goal is education, because she knows if she puts them through high school, she sends them to a private high school, and puts them through college, they can get a better job. They'll make more money, and they can send that back to their families who are starving. And so we're sitting there, and the girls were at school. We were going to get to meet them later, the ones living with her. We didn't know, though, that one of them had already gotten home. And somebody downstairs said, hey, why don't you go take them some water upstairs? So we're all, our team, sitting in this room with Benita, and she's just telling us about this culture in Thailand. And so one of these girls comes up. I think she was 14. She looked like she was 9. She came up, walked in the room, said, Sawadee-ka, and set the waters down. And grown men in that room on our team started sobbing because we knew our people had been abusing her for years, exploiting her. And we were just so thankful she'd been rescued from it. But just to see a little girl just will kill you. It just make you sick. You can't even stand it. So Benita said, do you want to see what I do? And we said, we do. And so she split up the guys and the girls. And she said, guys, you're going to go on the street. You're going to kind of get a view of this, but you won't see anything inappropriate, but you can get an idea of what's going on. And girls, you're going to go in with me. And we're going to go tonight. And we're going to talk to some of the girls. And so me and the other guys on our team go with her husband. We walk down the street. I mean, there's some of them outside, trying to beckon you to come in. And so we saw enough. But then the girls went with Benita and some translators, and they went in. And they would see girls like this. This is an appropriate picture, but just so you know, they have numbers. See that? 112, 112. And so Western men primarily would go in and say, I want 112, and he'd pay, and he'd be able to take 112. It's just a number. And use her for the night. And so Benita and then the Thai translators and the girls went in, and they would buy a girl a drink so that they could talk to her. And she'd come over, and then Benita would tell her, hey, I've got this place down the street. I'll take care of you. I'll send an allowance back to your family. What you're making here, I can only do so much, but this is how much I can do, and I'll send it back to your family for you. I'll take care of you, put you through school, get you a better job. Come on, you don't have to do this. Some respond, some don't. One of the girls they talked to that night just started sobbing. I mean, it's not usually an older lady that comes in to talk to them, obviously. And she's talking to them and just crying because she feels like somebody loves her, cares about her, doesn't want to abuse her. This is Benita's ministry. This is what she's spending her retirement doing. She chose the grander vision. She said, as a retired person, I'll live on my pension. I'll provide for these girls. I'll change the world. Just so you know, she's short on her budget. And so we were there. We're like, we're going to take care of Benita. So I just want you to know, when you give, like to experience life, you're giving to ministries like Benita's. This is powerful to all of us. It was heartbreaking, the whole trip, powerful. It was an affirmation. I really feel like that this is where God wants us to be, that there's a real ministry here for our church. But I kind of wanted to end this talk just by giving you ways that you could begin to participate in the Thai vision even right now. Many of you stood up last week and said, I want to be a part, I want to do something. Let me give you a number of things you could do. Take a look at this list. Everybody can start praying with us, right, for Thai people. That as we go to the people that are already there and to our people that we send, that Thai people will be receptive to the gospel. They believe in Jesus. Take perspectives. I want to see everybody in our church at some point go through this class. A couple hours on Monday nights for, a semester, and you learn about what God's doing in the world. It just broadens your vision. Even if you don't go somewhere long term, you'll be better at sending people and supporting what's happened in the nations. We have 120 signed up now. Our goal was 200. We're praying for 200. So 80 of you, come on this weekend. Just sign up out in your lobby and go through Perspectives this semester. It'll change your life. Sponsor a compassion child. You know compassion, right? Compassion.com, sponsoring impoverished children all over the world. This is a great way to bring Thai people into your minds and hearts. We've sponsored 2 Thai children. Our family has, my girls have, and we get pictures from them and we send them letters and we pray for them. And so just a couple nights ago, I remember Karis ended her prayer by saying, "In Jesus, I pray for Ranachai and Nari in Thailand, that you'd provide for their needs and that they'd believe in Jesus." And our little $38 a month for each of them just kind of provides for a Christian education and some of their basic needs. But it reminds us of Thailand because we're praying for these kids and we're writing letters to them. Give, like I said earlier, when you give to eLife, you're giving to this Thai vision. Take a trip with us sometime. Would you go with us and see this? Take a short-term trip with us to Thailand, 10 days. Maybe host an exchange student, like we did with Kate. For 1 year, it's a high school student, lives with your family. You take them to high school, and they just want to learn English better, get to know your family, have an American family. Talked to somebody last week, and they took 7. They said they've had 7. 7 years, they've taken 7 students. You want to talk about changing the world? I mean, look at the experience we had in 1 year with Kate. Amazing what God could do. Take a Thai exchange student, give you even more of a heart for Thailand. There's Thai Tech students, other international students that are at Tech. You know how many internationals come through Texas Tech? They would love an American family, have them over for dinner once a month or something, help them kind of read over their paper, make sure their English is right. Most of them want it, but few of them get it. In our church, why don't we have families that just say, hey, I'll have them over once a month or twice a month, and I can help them get around town and help the Tech student with whatever they need before they go back to their country. Some of you want to adopt internationally. You've told me that. Why don't you consider Thailand? You can adopt from Thailand. Nothing to give you a heart for Thailand like having a little kid running around your house that came from Thailand. Our goer groups. I told you about these a few weeks ago. You start with Perspectives, but these are the groups that are living in that international apartment complex with Colby and Christy that are ministering to internationals, and they've made a 2-year commitment to go overseas. Maybe at some point you want to do this. But if you want to do any of these, if you're interested in any of these and you want more information, talk to somebody in the lobby at the Perspectives table, or just email For the Nations at our website, For the Nations at experiencelife.now.com, and we'll get you involved. Just so you know, our next step as a staff is we're trying to raise up a team, our first team. We think of possibly 3 families to move there in the next year. That's what we'd love to see as a church, to send our first team on the ground full-time in the next year, so you can pray with us in that regard, that God helps us identify that team and that as a church we can send them. That'll be really exciting. Here's the vision, though. Here's the Thai vision. Just back to what we've been saying in this series. Thai vision is to pray, prepare for, and hopefully get to participate in a church planning movement in Thailand. Church planning movement just means the rapid multiplication of churches or disciples, where 0.2 becomes 0.3, 4, 1%, 2% Christian very quickly. That's a church planning movement. We'd love to be a part. We'd love, church, wouldn't it be awesome to be a part as a church of seeing a red country turn green? You want to change the world. I know you do. I want to change the world. The world is bigger than just West Texas. Join with us as a church. We want to change the world, and this is the country God's really put on our hearts. I want to pray, and then I want to show you a video, a Perspectives testimony of somebody who's taken the class. Jasper is his name. It's made a real impact on him, and once you see it, and once the service is over, then you can sign up in the lobby. Let me pray for you. God, thank you so much for just the Thai vision. I didn't come up with it. I guarantee you. I feel like you've put this on my heart over the last year. I believe it's from you. God, thanks that as a church last weekend, most of us stood saying, I want to be a part in some way. God, help us to be a part. We want to help Benita We want to help Pastor Tanan at Nexus. God, we want to be, there's already people there doing great work. We just want to be a part. God, we want to send resources and people to be a part. And we just pray, God, that in our lifetime, we could see Thailand, a red country, turn green. It'd be amazing. In Jesus' name, amen.
Once I learned more about the unreached people groups and they taught me more, then my heart just bled for these people. I was like, you know, what can we do to help them? You know, and I'd pray to God, what is it that I'm not doing? And He laid it out for me. You know, I wasn't being a good sender. I wasn't being a good prayer partner. I was being selfish and just, if I couldn't go, then it wasn't worth taking care of. Those people who are my age or the people who are in the workforce, my colleagues who are in business, there's so much more they can do. If they don't have the time, if they're like me and they couldn't take off for long-term missions or even short-term missions, there is a world out there that they can be involved in just simply by being a sender, by equipping the called. And that's what we're looking for, is someone to help support those who are called, someone to help encourage them, pray for them, team up with them, and also support them financially. Before Perspectives, my outlook was that I had every excuse in the world not to, you know, if I wasn't called to this certain mission, then it wasn't my thing. But now I see those who are going, and there is no excuse for me not to support them if I can. There is no reason. Not only is there no reason, it's something, you know, I don't feel like I can actually afford not to help people. You know, whether it be in prayer, support, financially, however it may be, God will lead you there. I would say if you're not sure of what your role is, whether you're a goer or a sender, or where you should be at this point, I would truly invite you to go to Perspectives, because it's, I assure you, after the first night, you will come back and you will seek this class, because it teaches you so much in depth about God's Word, not only through His written Word, but through the experiences of those who have been there and who are back now, teaching us what has happened and what God has done in their lives.
Thanks for checking out one of our messages today. For more information about our church or to watch other messages, you can go to our website at experiencelifenow.com. Let us know if we can serve you in any way, and we hope to see you real soon.